Well, support Sven's actually almost picking up a BKB. His ulti is level 2 now, so he's going to get a bonus 150 damage for the team fight. If he can just hit like 3 or 4 times, he's honestly doing pretty good team fight contribution. I would love to see him max out Warcry, though. I just feel like Warcry is a disgustingly strong skill. It doesn't do that much versus OD, of course, but against a Gyrocopter, I mean, if he has less stats as a result, if he would be maxing Warcry, but if you can give your team like 8 to 16 armor somewhere in there every 18 seconds, during a flat cannon barrage, like, that's going to reduce a massive amount of that damage. And I feel like I wish this was being maxed out earlier.
Yeah. I mean, I know they are winning. Even though the score is 7-7, guys, there is a Rax taken, and that's quite a big deal. And the farm advantage is obviously on the side of Orange. I feel like any other support would have done more. I mean, the Sven is 0-3-3, and I think you could have pressured a lot earlier with any other support and made things even easier, but Mushi gonna solo kill this Roshan. He's got 3,000 gold. I assume this means a butterfly is going to be picked up next on him. And if you thought he was unkillable before, now he does damage, and he's unkillable more.
He attacks faster and has all this evasion and all this nasty stuff. He's almost max HP even. If we take a look at the hero levels, he's the closest is Gyro at 15. Like, it's.
Oh, is he level 22? Oh, casual level 22 at 30 minutes.
He was like, okay, I'm level 19, guys. I think it's time to max out Spell Shield. We'll just throw the points in. Scaling of the skill is actually kind of crappy, but it's 8% per level.
I mean, it doesn't matter at this point when you're level 22, and the Earthshaker, I think, is level 8.
He's going to stun him, and
it's going to do damage.
Then he's going to die. That's what's going to happen. So
yeah. I would actually like to see that max enchant totem and just go for the physical hit. Feel like nothing else hurts you.
Stack strength items to get the most damage, and 1 crit, of course.
Yeah, I actually really like the way that Orange is doing this. They're actually just pressuring the Rax lane just because, you know, they're going to assume, well, Mushi's got to be there by himself, but
yeah.
If anybody else comes to defend, they'll get picked off. KYXY just going to push out the lanes now. He's been doing this the entire time, using the time that Anti-Mage is buying him. Picks up the Scythe of Vice, and he's actually really farmed too. So if it wasn't enough that Mushi was getting a ton of farm, well, now you have to deal with the Queen of Pain as well.
And that's a really scary hero to have a Hex on as well, because you can blink initiate, so it really increases the range that you can jump on. Scythe of Vice, I think, is something like 1,200 range or something.
Oh,
really
and Hal's going to get jumped on.
Oh, he does get the BKB up. Nice play by him. He also has an MKB. He's going to start attacking any second. Net finally puts down his BKB as well, but actually it was a little wasted there. They do take the tower at least. Anti-Mage getting the last hit. And I mean, Orange's hero composition is so solid right now. I mean, having a BKB up on their support hero, for God's sake. I mean, Enchantress is kind of close to a mech, about halfway from the stack components. And the Hex on Queen of Pain, they don't even care about that. They lost a BKB charge on a support hero. They wasted a BKB charge on a carry hero, and they got a tower out of it. So Orange has got to be happy right now.
That looked so funny, just seeing a support Sven like
yeah,
man up on a Gyrocopter.
He's been farming like the entire game. He's 0-3 and 3 as a support hero. I'm not surprised his stats are like this because I think Sven's kind of a weak hero for support at least.
It's just a greedy one.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Mushi's going to do the thing that Mushi does and farm.
Oh,
He's going to push out this lane, and I actually think he's going to go for an Abyssal Blade. He's picked up a Basher. That's what he's going to waste his money on.
It's a good choice. I mean, disabling OD is a huge deal. Disabling the Gyrocopter, even if he pops BKB. What's his
He would like
number
5-shot that Earthshaker, if that.
8?
If it even takes him that long.
Oh yeah, Anti-Mage is pretty good against ES, of course. But
Anti-Mage is a pretty good hero in general against support heroes, but
yeah,
they are going to pressure out this bottom again. It doesn't look like Orange is too interested in forcing any sort of fights. They realize they have the best late game man, and he's ahead by so much at this point that they don't have to take fights. He can just continue to farm, extend the gold lead, and absolutely make sure that the next team fight is a crush.
He's pretty close to picking up his Eagle Song as well. He could sell his Quelling Blade for this one, but instead of playing it safe. I'm sorry, you're right. You're right. He's going to Abyssal Blade. I forgot about that. Sorry.
Yeah. Looks like the chicken is going to fly over there. Mushi's going to do the thing he does and farm. He's got 382 CS at 33 minutes. It almost kind of feels like he's overfarmed.
Oh my god. Compared to what the Gyro has, yeah, I think so. A little overfarmed.
It just feels like at this point, farming's a little redundant, and they can actually just go up and win the game. King J is getting a little bit closer to a Hex, but overall, the farm disadvantage just feels huge.
It's that carry that is really hard to kill. I mean, Gyro's farm was insane in the early game, if you remember correctly. And Anti-Mage was a little contested from the Darkseer. But then what happened is Gyrocopter got killed twice. What has Anti-Mage died? 0. He has literally done nothing but take towers and push this whole game. So he doesn't have the loss of dying ever. It's pretty hard to kill him. So Batrider's pretty easy to kill on gyrocopters, so
He's never felt the pain of death. But
is that like a line that he says or something?
no, I don't know. I
Did
just
you
sounded
make a
kind of
bet to
epic
say
at that.
that? It was like
No, no, dude, relax.
felt prepared or something. I don't know what it is.
All right. So the difference between picking an offlane like Batrider versus picking the Darkseer, the Batrider is slightly inferior early game in the gang or in the team fight component. Just because if you go in a team of 5, you get blown up right as soon as you try to lasso somebody with the blink. But the benefit of having a Darkseer is he picks up the mech. You can team fight a lot earlier. You have the wall, and as I'm saying that at bottom, Ohio's just going to get taken down by the support offlane combination.
Sven stun going through, but the evasion actually going to keep him alive. 200 HP, barely surviving there. BKB on KYX. What is going on?
At top, Mushi's just going to take another Rax. Doesn't even care about the rest of his team.
There is going to be a glyph, though, so that buys him a little time. A little bit of mana drain on King J as well.
At the same time, another bottom Rax is being taken.
There it is. That
and he'll just go
barracks.
back top.
They spent so much time defending that range barracks. Like, they've been defending that for 10 minutes. And it finally goes down with a little split push again. And Mushi's not done yet. Can go back in. There's the Manta split as soon as it's back up. Mana drain on King J. They could turn this into a kill possibly, but in the meantime, the illusions are just hitting the tower.
And his team's going to engage at bottom. Sansheng is actually going to get a huge ultimate off. Able to pick off the Batrider, but at the same time, Anti-Mage Mushi, he's going to pick up another Rax, using his team as meat shields. And there he goes. Not enough damage being done to him. And he actually gets vacuumed out of the Gyrocopter ultimate, the call down. And there goes a melee Rax.
2 lanes down, and they're losing in kills, guys. Can't really tell, though. Look at the gold graph, 20k and climbing. Orange continues to do this really annoying style. Again, it worked for them against Zenith, and they're looking completely set up. Look at that. There it is. Tricky illusions. Tricky illusions, man. He's been doing this all game. Grabs the top Rax, and that's a double Rax at 36 minutes. Tongfu so far behind.
And this is an anti-mage that isn't interested. Oh, and actually at top, he is going to go on King J. Just going to run away. That fissure, the warning shot fissure, isn't going to do too much. Trying to make up the creeps. It's a good effort, but at the same time, I really like the way that Mushi plays his anti-mage. It's got to be the most frustrating thing in the world for opposing teams. He never engages you directly in a fight. He's just going to farm, pick you apart, take your towers, and force you to get into these 5-man situations, which are really inefficient.
Well, on the bright side for Tongfu, they are getting a lot of sheep sticks. Outward Devourer has been able to finish his. He's got a gem as well to scout out enemies. We also have a sheep on the way for Darkseer. He actually does have the money right now.
He's got a secret agent chicken it. He's got to be really afraid that Mushi might be up there.
They're like having the double sheep is really good against anti-mage at least. If he grabs the butterfly, they can shut down the evasion. They can also maybe catch him out of position, but man, when you have a heart and an abyssal at 20 with 2900 HP at 37 minutes, like killing him is going to be tough no matter what happens. They almost need to set up like hex into stuns. It's definitely going to take more than a couple seconds to kill that guy.
Yeah, and I would have actually, what I would have liked to see this game more is more offensive ultimates from Silencer. It seemed like they almost use them entirely defensively. Just using it to pick off the Queen of Pain, setting up a fissure, global silencing, maybe getting a rocket barrage and a call down. Just being able to use it more offensively, I think it would have benefited them more.
Queen of Pain picks up a ultimate orb. What do you think she's going to build with this? Scotty,
Lincoln's, doesn't really matter at this point.
Any giant item. I mean, build a Morphling Queen of Pain. Is that fair?
Yeah. I mean, a Scotty would be pretty good just because of the BKBs. Being able to slow somebody down would be a big boon as well. Makes it really easy for the anti-mage to get into these fights. Mushi just going to go back. Oh,
wow, really? That was a big mistake from Sansheng. There's a Hex actually. Scream of Pain on Moo. Moo might be in trouble. We do see a mech more right clicks than KYX while he's going to get right out. Why go Earthshaker first? They've got a Hex on the OD. They should start off with that.
And meanwhile, Mushi, as he's been doing all game long, refuses to come to team fights. It almost feels like and Global Silence is going to be popped for that Batrider.
Okay. Huh. Well, the gem is picked up by Gyrocopter. He's getting pretty close to Butterfly. DPS output is going to be pretty sick.
Yeah, and actually, soon Tongfu is going to have to make a decision on what to do. It almost feels like Mushi is playing one of those styles of pubs where he's like, I can't hear you, and he ignores the rest of his team. He's like, I'm never going to come to a fight. You guys took 2 creeps.
Bloodstone style? Is that true?
Dude, I come to fights all the time. I'm not a selfish player.
Unless you're getting Bloodstone.
Then
I won't see you for the
and
first
at bottom,
20 minutes.
Moo's just going to get picked off by the Abyssal.
Oh, pretty easy for him. He's actually getting a lot of mana drain, but Banana's really low. Scream of Pain. He takes some bonus vacuum to do some, but no one will die here. Except for OD, of course.
Yeah, it looks like Mushi's playing a little bit almost too cautiously. I don't think with the Obsidian down and only 1 Hex up, he can actually die. But He's got 5k gold, enough for a buyback and whatever item he decides to go, but he's playing extra cautiously, just going to blink out.
His net worth is okay, 28,000 gold. Next closest is his ally, 16,000 on Queen of Pain, and then the next after that is Gyrocopter.
Actually kill
like the same.
for him to just like get into one team fight with his team. That'd be so gratifying to watch.
You want him to actually play 5v5? Is that going to happen at this point?
Can't, at this point, you just have to say, I'm so far ahead.
They didn't do that last game either against Zenith.
Yeah,
it was like the same stuff.
No,
it was
this is like, you're a 40-minute, 6-slotted anti-mage, and this isn't like a fake 6-slot. This is a true, really expensive
gem
6-slot. I mean, well, once he gets rid of the gem for a butterfly, he's got the money for it, and he's still refusing to participate in fights.
He could blow up this Earthshaker so fast.
He can blow up anybody so fast at this point.
Could
I mean, how's BKB's only at 7 seconds now, which actually is decently high, but
that would stop the mana break at least. But with the Abyssal
maybe
Blade,
wait for the Aegis and then go for the fight.
Divine
possibly.
Rapier.
Oh god, I don't even know. What he's gonna have to sell something. I guess the Battle Fury he could.
It's not worth it. He's gonna keep that.
Get the Aegis, force a fight, win the game. Do it, Mushi.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna need an Aegis here.
He's definitely
pretty high chance of him dying in the next team fight.
He's had a really difficult time living, and his team gonna do the safe thing, protect him. Picks up the Aegis,
he grabbed
drops
it.
the gem.
God, I hope he goes really, like, I hope he's just like, I'm gonna blink in 5v1, and then if things go bad, then my team can back me up.
Okay, if his team goes for like the bottom lane and he pushes mid, I'm done. Like life's over for me. Oh my god, he's going for the top lane. Just do it.
It's got a counter push, guys. It's what anti-mage
does.
Is
I think at this point he's just trying to go for like a GPM record.
He doesn't have that many kills though. I mean, he's got 29,000. There's actually gonna be team fight. BKBs go in. Earthshaker as well. Great blink initiation. Catches Net before he pops his BKB. Mex finally, as X is running for his life, call down as well, slowing quite a bit. Net throws another stun. Where's the anti-mage? He's killing somebody. He's going illusions on just about every support here. He picks off one. Mushi going on the next. Net stays alive just barely, and good game is called. Team fight from Orange is too much here. Anti-mage is a little bit farmed. Didn't even get close. He lost about 15%.
He wasn't even close to die. I don't understand this game.
He lost 15%. He can dive like crazy now. Gems everywhere. He's got 8,000 gold. Wow. Really solid play from Mushi, and it's a great counter against Gyrocopter, honestly. Like, it's all single target. They need single target damage, and they need ganking potential to shut down Mushi, but there wasn't enough single target ganking out of Tongfu here, and Orange is going to take game 1, so it's looking pretty good for them. So, yeah, that's going to be game 1 of Orange versus Tongfu, guys. They're going to have a second game coming up shortly after. This is day 1 of Group B for the Alienware Cup. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. This was a Purge and Blitz Team Hoodie cast. And Orange takes the first game, so pretty fun to watch. Hope you guys tune in for game 2. How are you guys doing over on the desk? LD, what did you think about that game?
Mushi's back on carry, and he's back in a big way.
Yeah.
Playing anti-mage two games in a row now, and wow, impressive. They got anti-maged. I mean, what more is there to say about that game? They got anti-maged extremely hard.
It just seemed like their Tongfu strategy was... They were like, oh, well, we'll do this. We'll have these great team fights.
Yeah.
We'll have the global silence, and that'll be great against 2 blinking heroes. But they never got to use it offensively. Ohio got shut down so many times by the Bat Rider. I think Orange realized the gyro is the key to the strategy. They're like, if he dies continuously while our anti-mage is farming, he's all the damage output. So all we have to do is shut him down.
Damage. And you get a hero like Silencer, which on paper is really good for ganking anti-mage early to mid game. You can global, then you gank him. Once he gets the Manta, he just Mantas out of the silence. There's not a whole lot you can do there. And then you have a hero who's basically just walking food as a support. Only the Earthshaker stun, really, as far as the 2 supports go for true lockdown. And it's a bit lacking when you get into those later game engagements.
Yeah, I don't want to be presumptuous here, but I actually don't think the Sven was necessary at all. I think if you took the Sven out of the game, like, seriously, I'm 100% not kidding. If the game was 4v5, the result would have been the same.
He used Warcry occasionally. there were some stuns.
But I'm just saying,
entirely fair.
I'm mainly kidding, but you know, for the most part, it was just
it's not a high impact support.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty fair.
And that goes to show how much of an impact Mushi had on the game itself. He was able to pick off. He correctly asserted that his team, they needed him to defend the T2, but he was thinking to himself, well, if my entire team is there to defend, and there's nothing, not even a T2 stopping me, why wouldn't I just go for this Rax?
It seems like Orange is kind of evolving into almost Zenith in a way, where the Orange for a while was favoring more of like a team fight composition. They'd get a team fighting pushing carry like a Luna, a Lone Druid. They'd complement it with the Extinct Chen. They'd group up. They fight together. But today we've seen a lot more emphasis on split push out of them.
Yeah, I think it's mainly just because of the anti-mage pick. That's what the bread and butter of that hero is. You never really want to get into a direct engagement until
you can
absolutely
fight,
huge.
but I mean, only when you're really big do you want to.
I actually think Mushi could have fought with like 4. Like, cause let's be real here.
I was just listening to you. Like, okay, I think he can fight now, guys. Mushi, you can fight now.
The Earthshaker was level 8.
Mushi's one of these players. The more you cast him, you'll find that he's got these like little idiosyncrasies, right? Like he doesn't like to spend his gold. Sometimes he just doesn't want to fight, and you're like, "Come on, Mushi!"
He was allergic to fighting though that game. He was actually absolutely. I mean, the Earthshaker was level 8 when
Maybe
he was like
fighting killed his
25.
family or something.
Yeah.
It's personal problems, man.
It's like team fights killed my dad.
Personal problems.
But I mean, at the risk of sounding harsh, I think he could have came to fights, but at the same time, it was really methodical. I really liked the way that he played. I didn't like the way it was from a caster perspective.
All right, he did this wrong. He did this wrong.
No,
did this
he
wrong.
actually did.
He did this wrong.
Come on,
I like how he played.
As
no,
a
but in
as
all
a player, he
seriousness.
was fantastic.
Yeah.
Who am I to criticize him? I just mean to say
It's just
that.
the little things he could do better.
Well, from a caster perspective, perspective. I was gonna say perspective and point of view at the same time, but perspective. I think it would have been a little more exciting to see him fight, but at the same time, it's a lot more safe to just get into these never engage. I'll just split push you to death. So from that point of view, like if I were to play, I'd be like, wow, this is actually fantastic play.
I feel like as a carry player, it's very easy to get into this. If you feel like you have the better late game, it's just very comfortable. Guys, let me farm more. Let me get buyback. Let me have like buyback boots of travel and a fresh BKB or whatever the case may be, and depending on the game, and then I'll come and fight. And he just wanted. He took out like an insurance policy on his insurance policy.
It would have just, for me personally, I complained a bit, but it was mainly just it would have been so emotionally gratifying to see him like two-shot an Earthshaker that he's got like 14 levels on.
Just bring the hammer down.
Like that's my favorite part of Dota, when you just like ruin somebody's life. Like he would have just blinked on the Earthshaker, 3-shot him, and then.
It's interesting because your least favorite part of Dota is when someone else is ruining your life, just camping you mid the entire game.
Exactly, but as long as
you'll
it's not
find
happening
if you
to
watch
me.
Blitzstream, but
As long as it's not happening to me, but.
End of the day, Orange, they're going to take game 1 in the best of 2. Do you think they take game 2 as well?
I mean, I called Tongfu going 2-0. That obviously didn't even come close to happening because now
I was actually getting a little annoyed because you've been getting like all your predictions right, and finally you're wrong.
Yeah,
you're just dead wrong on one.
It was a depressing one too.
I have company here. I said 1-1, so I guess I should be rooting for Tongfu if I had money on the line.
You guys played it safe. I don't play it safe.
I swear.
Wait, did you wink again?
Yeah.
You can't do that, man. That embarrasses me.
Somebody in the chat told me to tell you to wink at the camera.
Oh, really? I'll do that for you guys again.
He's not winking.
I can do this.
He's just squinting.
Because it makes my
hold
right eye
hold
kind
one
of
of
like
your eyes open and then
it
close
like
the other
shivers. It like.
All right. Well, anyway, that's going to wrap up game 1. Orange, they'll take it, but it's a best of 2 format. We'll see if Tongfu bounces back here. If not, they'll start off Group A, or Group B rather, 0-2. It's day 1 of Group B action for the Alienware Cup, brought to you. Man, I can't speak English either. Brought to you by Alienware, MasterCard, and DPM Interactive. Stay tuned. More action after this.
Hey guys, welcome back. We're about to watch Game 2 of Orange versus Tongfu. How'd you like Game 1 as a whole?
Game 1 as a whole, I mean, I made some jokes about it, but it was really methodical. The one knock on Mushi is that sometimes he kind of makes these mid-game decisions that are a little bit unsafe, but he decided to go the opposite end of that, played really safe, really smart Dota, just kind of used his teammates as human meat shields and timers while he took racks, and just a really methodical performance by Orange in general.
Yep, so definitely an anti-maged game. Let's hop into the draft, by the way. Let's see what they are picking up. Similar heroes so far. Tongfu's going to start off with a gyrocopter. We see a Darks here onto Orange, which guarantees them a solid long lane. By the way, my name's Purge. I'm here with Blitz, of course. Team, what am I calling it? Hoodie?
Team
I don't
Hoodie?
care anymore. That was way cooler
You had to
the
do a
first
better
time.
one.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
As an OTP, man, doing a really failed job.
I have nothing.
Let me think of the nicknames.
Is that what your
Alright.
job is?
Yeah.
What's my job?
Your job is to look pretty.
Okay, GG.
You can do that, right? I'm the brains of this operation.
It's definitely true. They don't know who they want to go with, though. Pretty typical bans. Actually, a Batrider this time. Tongfu was not happy with how active the Batrider was. I mean, he got his blink at a pretty reasonable time, and he just continuously made kills, which is one thing that I really liked about what Orange did in the last game. It was like every time Queen of Pain was ready with her ulti, they would just go gank the gyrocopter, they'd pick off core heroes, they would throw everything on them, but I mean, the kills really added up, and that's really where Anti-Mage can be strong. He's hard to gank himself, he can farm really, really fast, and heroes like gyrocopter are less strong at being defensive.
Yeah, and Darkseid going to be picked up first by Orange Esports. I really like that hero in general. It's the long laner that you use to kind of team fight. It's one of those heroes, unlike Bat, the ganking aspect of him is a little bit weak, but team fight wise, man, this guy is strong. Vacuum, Ion Shell, Wall, the surge for running people in, especially the combination with Alchemist, that's quite strong. You can surge the Alchemist in if he has something like a Shadow Blade, and you get a guaranteed stun off.
So Tongfu picks up a Rubik, and in response, Orange snags an Alchemist. They didn't go with the Anti-Mage. What do you think? Why do you think they did this? I mean, Anti-Mage for Orange has been crushing all night. They play the style perfectly. Why are they not drafting it again?
Maybe the Alchemist might be going mid. Who knows? That does.
But nothing
IG
has
does
changed.
it.
They had a gyrocopter last game. I guess they don't have a Batrider this time, so
Yeah.
maybe they're ganking.
That does open up
Ninjas.
quite a bit for the Anti-Mage as well. And Darkseer's more of a team fight hero, more than it is the ganking split push style, and so maybe that's a big factor in that as well. Alchemist is actually a really good team fight carry. The stun does quite a bit of damage. The acid cloud makes it impossible to fight in, and with that vacuum acid cloud, there's a little bit of a combination there. But OD gonna actually be banned out by Orange, which is a bit surprising. It didn't really look like they struggled with that hero too much.
Yeah, it didn't. I mean, it seemed like they outlaned him without too much trouble. He should have gotten more CS, but it didn't really happen. So, props to Orange for dealing with that well. And a lot of jungling heroes being banned by Tongfu as well. They do complement Alchemist in some ways. They can open up the map a bit. He can hit the jungles pretty easily and set up kills as well. I mean, usually the jungle creeps can have some kind of good disable, whether that's a net or a centaur stun or even a slow clap. It'll give you an extra second or two of the bottle charge and possibly secure kills. And they haven't picked an off lane yet either, so apparently they're really scared about that early push.
Yeah, and actually Orange opting to ban all the mid heroes right now. Getting rid of that Obsidian Destroyer, getting rid of that Dragon Knight, maybe picking a slightly weaker mid. I'm just kind of afraid of those heroes in general. And OD, really good team fight hero, really good one-on-one hero, and actually Dragon Knight is a really good pusher as well. Opting to ban both of those out, and Tongfu, they don't want to get jungled this game by the Enchanters. Picking out the Chen as well, realizing that's a really good hero for Extinct.
Yep.
No Sven bans, I see.
I have no idea why. It's almost... I don't even like Sven as a carry. Like, every time I play that hero, if the lane is at all contested, I'm like, I feel worthless. And you don't get farm, and like, yeah, okay, you can double your damage, that's cool and all, but, like, man, I hate that hero. I think it sucks. I know Dendy has said personally, he's like, I think Sven is a good hero. And then Sven started, like, cleaving everybody for 1,000 damage, but, like, if the circumstances are not awesome, I feel like he sucks.
Yes.
Can we just, like, hate on Sven for 40 minutes? I don't know. Screw that hero. I don't even...
Let's just do that. Let's just focus in on a hero to hate.
I
He
hate
clearly
you
hasn't
personally.
seen Purge play Sven to know how much angst you have against
Yeah,
that hero,
I
but
just complain the whole time and suck. Mostly because I suck, but like a little bit because Sven is a bad hero.
I should have gotten that CS.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Was that a good Purge?
Uh,
I should have gotten that CS.
I usually say last hit over
Last hit,
CS.
okay.
I think
All
when
right,
I'm
I'll-
referring to a single CS.
Later on, you won't see it coming, and I'll do that again. I'll bring that joke back again. I'll recycle it.
Okay. I think you need more of a rumble to your voice. It was just a little. That was like smoky.
I
like
can't
you-
actually do that.
Like you've been smoking cigarettes.
I don't actually do that. Don't do that, kids. Smoking cigarettes is terrible for you, and it makes you smell terrible. Anyways, back into the game. A little more on topic. Orange hasn't picked up a hero yet, but Jakiro being picked up by Tongfu. I really like that hero in general. The synergy it has with a hero like Gyrocopter, just picking up mass AoE and teamfight. And a puck going to be picked up by Orange Neolution Esports.
I'm just really glad to see roaming supports be picked up by teams. Like, a lot of the games today have been really weird, passive tri-lane supports. Like we saw, to start things off, we saw a Visage with a Sand King. We've seen a lot of Sand King supports tonight. We saw the Treant support. Now we're seeing a Rubik Jakiro. That can grab a smoke, and they can go gank a lane from that. They can use Telekinesis into an Ice Path and maybe kill Puck. It gives them a lot